Hello, I'm Sherry Cummins, and I'm going to share with you the joy of reading, an analysis of genres and Reading Wrapped 23, a visualization by Leah Warner Tidalde that was created December 14th of 2023. Since I can remember, I've loved stories. My earliest recollection includes stories of the Bible from Sunday school class when I was a child. My love of words naturally morphed into writing. Like my grandfather, I read voraciously and share stories morning, noon, and night. When I happened upon Leah Warner Tidalde's visualization in Tableau, I knew immediately that this is the viz I wanted to share with you. I'll refer to the visualization as Books 2023 from hereafter. And here is the dashboard. Leah read 35 books in 2023, averaging one book read every 10 and a half days. The entire visualization is on the left of the screen. We'll observe unique aspects of the visualization with close-ups as we go along. Leah categorized each book into one of 12 main genres. Some books were categorized into multiple genres and rated each book using a 5-star system, with 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. She included comments to give you, the reader, an idea of what the rating represented. She then compared her ratings as the author of this visualization to Goodreads, the largest site for readers and recommendations. The graphics on the left show what happens in the interactive visualization. Sourcing the data, Leah used graphics and color to create a story. We'll follow the book Legends and Lattes to demonstrate. If you look at graphic 1, you can see that when we hover over the genre fantasy, it's colored green, and you'll find that 51% of the books Leah read are in this genre. In number 2, you'll see there are small squares below the main header for the genre. That's the library, the first library in the visualization. If you hover over this, you can go until you hit the square that says Legends and Lattes, and you will now see the author of that book. Each book then moves from this area visibly toward the rating they received. So as you follow Legends and Lattes, you see that they received a rating of 5.0 in number 3. And you can see also that it changes into another bookshelf in the library, and it is black, which in that particular library is now categorized by the rating it received. So you'll see that in number 4. In these graphics, we see a list of each genre with the author's rating and the Goodreads rating. If you hover over the genre, and you'll see highlighted the corresponding book icons, blue for Goodreads and black for Leah's, representing the ratings of each genre and the comparison. The data analysis revealed a few surprises to Leah. Her favorite genre is science fiction. By intentionally selecting diverse titles, she explored other genres. Data revealed that she scored romance very high. She enjoyed romance more than she expected to. The overall average rating by the author of the books read and the average of Goodreads is aligned. However, there is a difference between the author's highest rated category of mythology, which she rated as 5, and Goodreads raters rated as 4.3. While the author's average rating of 4.0 and the Goodreads rating of 3.0, they are closest on the genre of romance. They were furthest apart in 2 categories, both classic and psychological genres, by 1.2 points. Tableau identified multiple outliers, observations that lie an abnormal distance from other values in a random sample of the population. Compared to other data, the nonfiction value of 4.5 seems high. The question is, why? A possibility is that there were only 3 ratings in the genre, and when the analyzed mark has a low number of records, there may not be enough data to form a statistically significant explanation. If the mark's value is outside the expected range, explained data in Tableau can't determine whether this unexpected value is being caused by random variation or by a meaningful difference in the underlying records. The expected range is from the 15th to the 85th percentile that a statistical model predicts for the analyzed mark based on visualized dimension only. The book Doro, Refugee, triggered the outlier because of its high rating and its impact on the nonfiction genre average rating. I need to further explore how the ratings of the books impact the overall average nonfiction rating. So the next step was to make a hypothesis. The null hypothesis is that the high rating distorts the average of the nonfiction genre. The alternative hypothesis is that it doesn't distort the nonfiction average, even though the number of records is low. So the extreme value that triggered the outlier is 5.0. The mid value is 4.0, and the low value is 3.0. To manipulate the data, I excluded the high value and the average became 3.5. I then included the high value back in, but excluded the low value, and the average was 4.5, which is what the average was overall with all three values included. I don't see a big impact on the average of nonfiction due to the high value of Dora, but more information is needed to definitively reject the null hypothesis. And we can only take data so far. Data gives us a reason to look further if we need to. In this case, I did go to Amazon, found that Dora is highly rated by most everyone who reads the book. So did the manipulation narrow the story? Well, to remove the high mark did not make a significant difference because the average with the high mark and all other ratings were 4.5. Excuse me, when I removed the high mark, it did make a difference, but leaving the high mark in did not. The average changed significantly when I moved the high mark, becoming 3.5, which didn't even come near to the average over all books. The analyzed mark nonfiction is made of 3 records. Its unexpected value was likely to be caused by random variation rather than a meaningful difference in the underlying records. So, my recommendations are this. To fix this particular visualization at this time, or to make a manipulation to it by including more books, would not be feasible because 2023 is gone. I recommend that for considerations of books 2024, if Leah decides to do that project, is for her to narrow the story by reading a similar number of books in each genre. This will help her to reduce the possibility of outliers. For 2023, I recommend including Amazon ratings and other similar ratings on the books and get an average and comparison that's more indicative of the reader population, rather than just her own ratings and those of Goodreads. Now, how can I use Tableau in my life? There are multiple ways, but today I decided to share with you what can I do as a writer? How can it help me? Writing is a joy for me, but when investing my time to become published, it's imperative that I do my research. Publishers are not only interested in great topics, they are in the business of selling. For a book proposal to be considered, having an interesting idea that's popular with acquisition editors isn't enough. The book must be what readers are asking for, and we find that with data. Using Tableau can help me to narrow my focus on what direction to go with my book by creating a visualization using multiple data sources of the top selling books that include online purchases and brick and mortar stores. If I include the publishers of each book when collecting titles of best-selling books, I can also run the percentages and find the types of books that each publisher is interested in and how much interest they have in that particular genre of book. This will help to guide my writing path. I will either tailor a book proposal based on my idea toward a specific publisher, or I will create a new book proposal filling a need of a publisher, improving my odds of having a published book. I hope you enjoyed the journey that we went on today in the joy of reading through books 2023, and that it prompts you to create a Tableau workbook that improves and inspires you in your own life.